Scientists just discovered something terrifying about the astronauts trapped in space, and it's changing their bodies every single second. What's happening to them is so extreme that NASA had to launch 3 tons of emergency supplies just to keep them alive. But that's not even the craziest part. In just 3 days up there, their bodies lost equivalent of 1/5 of their blood without bleeding a single drop. And every month, the bones are crumbling 10 times faster than someone with severe osteoporosis. But why are they even up there? The answer reveals an even bigger disaster that NASA never saw coming. Here's are the questions that we'll answer. Why did a simple 8-day mission turn into 8-month survival situation? How are they turning their own sweat into drinking water? What happens if SpaceX rescue mission fails? Why did NASA trust a 4.2 billion spacecraft that completely malfunctioned? Our team at ImpactCell doesn't just bring you the space rescue mission, we expose the mind-bending mysteries that scientists can't explain. Did you know our brain runs on just 20 watts of power? Yet it can solve problems that supercomputer can't. Or that 95% of the universe is made of something we can't even see. From quantum particles that can be in 2 places at once, to human eyes that can detect a single photon of light, to bacteria in your gut that can control your thoughts. We reveal the science that makes you question everything you thought was possible. And we don't tell you what happens. We show why it happens. Why does time speed up as you get older? Why do astronauts have life-changing revelation when they see Earth from space? Why are bananas radioactive? These are the questions we answer, backed by hundreds of research papers and world's leading experts. Today is this incredible space rescue, and in this coming week, we are exposing a discovery so massive even NASA tried to keep it hidden. Plus, we are revealing what scientists just found beneath the Antarctic ice. And trust me, it makes this space rescue look ordinary. If you are someone who always wondered by deeper why behind our universe's greatest mysteries, you are at the perfect place. Join our community of curious minds by hitting the subscribe button and notification bell. Now moving on to today's story. 2 NASA astronauts are stuck into space right now, and what's about to happen next is insane.
Thank you, LC. For everybody listening, just a thought. Sonny and I, as we were traveling to the pad, we saw many American flags, and many of you were waving flags at us. And then as we reached the pad, we look up, and of course there's that American flag on the side of the White Room, also one on the side of the rocket itself. And we know that that represents unity and resilience and unified efforts for the common good. And that's what Sonny and I have witnessed this last month. Each of you displaying what this nation's forefathers envisioned, a people committed to God, family, and country, a people who use their gifts and talents for the common good and are passionate and tough. And we all know that when the going gets tough, and it often does, the tough get going. And you have. And Sonny and I are honored to share this dream of spaceflight with each and every one of you. So with that, LC, let's get going. Now let's put some fire in this rocket, and let's push it to the heavens where all these tough Americans have prepared it to be.
Let's go, Calypso. Take us to space and back.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff of Starliner and Atlas V, carrying 2 American heroes, drawing a line to the stars for all of us.
Commander Butch Wilmore, they're calling down to Mission Control here in Houston that the spacecraft has begun rolling into the right attitude for its ascent, and the Guidance, Navigation, and Control Officer here in the room seeing good data on that.
The International Space Station just became their unexpected home after their spacecraft completely malfunctioned. But that's not even craziest part.
The US space agency NASA says the 2 American astronauts who are stuck on the International Space Station could be in orbit for 8 more months until a SpaceX flight can retrieve them.
This has not been an easy decision, but it is absolutely the right one.
Their ride home, the Boeing Starliner, just experienced worst possible failure. The thrusters stopped working. And when you are in space, that's basically like losing your car engine on a highway. Except you are 250 miles above Earth. Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams have been up there way longer than they planned. Before we get into the crisis, you need to know why they were even up there. Trust me, this makes everything even crazier. Back in 2014, NASA had a huge problem. They needed new spaceships to get astronauts to the space station. They picked 2 new companies for their job, Boeing and SpaceX. Here's where it gets really interesting. Boeing got $4.2 billion to build their spaceship, while SpaceX only got $2.6 billion. Why? Because Boeing was a reliable choice. But what happened to next? Nobody saw coming. The Starliner was supposed to be amazing. It's not just any spacecraft, it's a high-end space taxi designed for ferry astronauts to and from the space station. This thing could carry 7 astronauts at once, be reused up to 10 times without needing major repairs, and the coolest part is that it could work with different types of rockets to launch in space. It's like having a car that could run on any kind of fuel. Pretty cool, right? But then, in 2019, disaster. The first flight completely failed to reach orbit. In 2022, they tried again. More problems. Despite all these warning signs, NASA decided to move forward with a crewed mission. That's where our astronauts come in. Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams were chosen for an 8-day mission. Just 8 days. Their job? Their job is to test this brand new spacecraft and make sure it's safe for future astronauts. Everything seemed fine until the countdown began.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. And liftoff of Starliner and Atlas V, carrying 2 American heroes, drawing a line to the stars for all of us.
Just hours before launch, engineers spotted something terrifying: a helium leak in the propulsion system. And in spacecraft, helium isn't just a pretty balloons. It's what keeps the entire system running. Think of it like the oil in your car. If it leaks, everything stops working. But in space, it's 1,000 times worse. But somehow they fixed it. The launch was incredible. Butch and Sunita made it to space. Everyone thought the worst was behind them. Then the alarm started. The Starliner has 28 thrusters. These tiny but super powerful engines that helps it move in space. You need this to dock it with space station. Guess what happened? 5 of them just stopped working. Imagine driving on a highway and suddenly losing control of your steering and your brakes at the same time. That's how dangerous this was in space. Butch and Sunita had to dock a 75,000-pound spacecraft to space station with broken thrusters. It's like threading a needle while riding a roller coaster blindfolded.
Dragon SpaceX docking sequence is complete.
Dragon, we copy, docking complete.
But the scariest part is more helium leaks started appearing, one after another. Engineers worked for 72 hours straight trying to fix it. But every solution just led more problem. And all this time our astronauts were stuck in orbit, not knowing if their spacecraft would even get to them home. Now NASA had to make one of the hardest decisions in recent space history. Imagine being responsible for 2 astronauts' lives, and you have to choose one of the 2 options. Risk sending them back in a damaged spacecraft or leave them in space even longer. NASA brought their best engineers from all over the country, experts who usually solve problems for a spacecraft millions of miles away, where they called in to help. But what they really discovered was shocking. Boeing said, "Hey, we still think it's safe to fly." But NASA wasn't convinced, not even close. After weeks of testing, the verdict came in, and it was unanimous. The Starliner was officially deemed unsafe to bring our astronauts home.
The uncertainty in our margins is where we have come to make the decision that the administrator laid out. That uncertainty remains in our understanding of the physics going on in the thrusters, and we still have some work to go.
The space is literally changing their bodies right now. In zero gravity, astronauts lose about 1.5% of their bone density every month. That's 10 times faster than people with osteoporosis. But wait until you see what happens to their blood. NASA's research shows their blood plasma volume drops about 22% in just 3 days. It's like losing 1/5 of their blood without actually bleeding. It's like aging in fast forward. And that's not counting the cosmic radiation hitting them with a force of 100 chest X-ray every month. But NASA just did something incredible. They launched 3 tons of supplies to keep them alive. That's like sending an entire elephant's weight of food and supplies into space. According to ISS protocol, each astronaut needs 7.5 pounds of supplies every day just to survive. Our calculation shows this should last them exactly 456 days. And check this out. They are literally drinking their own recycled sweat and urine. The ISS has this mind-blowing system that turns wastewater into pure drinking water. It's basically space magic. Without this system, they need 8 tons of water just to survive their extended stay. But food is just the beginning. Living in space is like living in the world's most extreme gym, except you have to work out, or your body starts falling apart. Our astronauts have to exercise for 2.5 hours every single day. Without gravity, their muscles would turn into jelly and their bones would become as fragile as chalk. But here's what really keeps them sane. They can actually call their families from space, they have Wi-Fi, can make phone calls, and even watch movies. Though trust me, they probably skip the space disaster films. And thankfully, they are not alone up there. The space station is like a floating international city. with other astronauts keeping them company. Because, let's face it, being stuck in space is better with friends.
Station Houston.
And we're with you on 2.
Hey, Chell, it's Mark Kelly. How are you? How are you guys doing?
Senator Kelly, it's great to hear your voice, and great to, I believe you've got...
But here's where it gets even more wild. SpaceX is planning the most intense rescue mission ever. They're sending a Dragon spacecraft, but here's the craziest part. They're leaving 2 seats empty just to save Butch and Sunita. Usually, when Dragon visit the space station, it's like a carefully planned trip. But this time, they are literally sending an empty spacecraft with a rescue mission. It's like sending an empty lifeboat into a storm. The spacecraft normally carries 4 astronauts, but for this mission, 2 seats will be empty, specially prepared just for Butch and Sunita. Everything has to be perfect. When they finally begin their journey back to Earth, they'll face the most dangerous part of any space mission: re-entry. Imagine being inside a spacecraft while it hits temperature hotter than lava, over 3,500 degrees. Right now, engineers are working around the clock to make sure this rescue goes perfectly, because in space, there are no second chances. If you are fascinated by how space changes human bodies and want to explore more mind-blowing science that's changing our world right now, hit subscribe button. Our team reviews hundreds of research articles to bring you the most incredible discoveries explained in a way that actually makes sense. Here's a quick question for you. How long can humans survive in space? 6 months? 1 year? 2 years? Or indefinitely with proper supplies? Drop your answer below. We'll give hard reaction to correct answers.
Now watching Starliner make its final approach. Docking ring extended. "7 meters away from the forward port. Estimated contact, a little bit more than 2 minutes. Crossing 2 minutes to contact right now. Starliner continuing to close in on the International Space Station at a distance of 5.3 meters, closing in at 0.05 meters per second. Alternating views between the International Space Station and the Starliner sensors themselves as they close in on the forward port of the Harmony module. Starliner looking to connect to the International Docking Adapter there at the forward end of Harmony. Docking ring extended. You can see some of the separation coming in with that inner ring. Those 3 pedals will inside 4 meters. Minute to contact. Inside 3 meters. Quiet in the control room. Starliner continuing to close in. Starliner coming 2 meters to the International Space Station. 1 meter to docking, less than 20 seconds. Press to dock. Contact, capture.
Soft capture confirmed.
Copy, station showing good soft capture.